Let's get ready to rumble!
This episode is brought to you by FairDesk, a crypto derivatives trading platform founded by 6 former Binance execs and 3 former Morgan Stanley architects. FairDesk is a company focused on building a platform that enables traders to profit from both rising and falling markets. Sign up today and CB will credit you up to $600 in trading funds. For more information, visit fairdesk.com, link in the description below.
Satoshis, who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah, this my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Tune in and get the latest and greatest from stacking Toshis. This my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah, this my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Tune in and get the latest and greatest from stacking Toshis. Yeah, that's where you need to get the real news at. Stop messing with them lames out there. CBTV. Let me out of here.
Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live.
Okay.
That's right. F it. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do it live, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of My 2 Satoshis with yours truly, Crypto Blood. Round of applause again for everyone tuning in today on this gloomy day here in Detroit. Can't get enough of it, ladies and gents. I don't know. It just won't shake me. I got my hat on. Shout out to I can't remember what viewer asked for the Lions gear. Here you go. Got it on. Does the hat match the shirt or does the shirt match the hat? I'll let you guys figure that out. I can't figure it out. Make sure you guys jump on that stage, scroll up that screen, and do me a favor. Smack that like button right now for me. Please, ladies and gents, I need your help. The only way we can do that is for you to share this video, like it, and comment in the chat room. Let's get that chat rate up. My guy, or actually, it's probably a lady, Lynn Davis, asks here, just curious, is CB still doing a show with Rice? Well, we do collaborations all the time, Lynn. I've come on his segments called, I think, Uncensored. I've come on a few of those episodes. But we are talking about doing something a little bit more permanent together. So, yeah, we are definitely still looking to do something, Lynn. So watch out for that. We're going to talk in Miami next month about more details on that. We also got I proposed something else to him as well, to do something in real life. We're looking to do something IRL, CB and Rice meetups, maybe have some guest appearances, whatever. Let me know in the comments, in the chat room, if you'd be interested in something like that. Rice coming to the D and us doing something together, having an event, paid ticket event. Let us know. And then I'll go to North Carolina, do the same, and then we'll expand from there. That's something that I've, been throwing around because it's just different having in real life meetups. I think that is important. I love talking with people in person, man. We're so, especially with COVID, like we've been so removed from that. Thank God we're starting to get back to that, but I love talking and meeting people in real life. All this behind the screen stuff is really not for me. But again, guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to be talking about Satan and Bitcoin. All right, round of applause. No, I'm going to explain why that is in the title. It's not clickbait. There is really something there. We'll talk about that. Also, 6 reasons why the SEC might be in turmoil. I mean, they're stretching, guys. They are reaching, Stretch Armstrong reach. They're reaching for significance in the changing times that we're in, the financial changing times that we're seeing. The tables are turning. We're heading toward more decentralized blockchain. Of course, they have the CBDCs, and we'll talk about a comment that Ted Cruz made about CBDCs that I would love to get your opinion on. But the tides are shifting, and they're trying to keep control or at least appease Sleepy Joe, because we know Sleepy Joe gave the mandate to many agencies last year that, hey, come New Year, you need to really start laying the law. So, guys, if you are looking to trade, well, guess what? I have a great offer for you. Bloodalytics and Fairdesk have teamed up to offer you guys up to $35,000 in deposit rewards. So check that out. Deposit rewards are essentially bonuses that are added to your account. So when you trade, you take a loss, let's say $100 loss on a trade. Well, $60 of that $100 will be deducted from your bonus balance. And so you only take a $40 loss on that particular trade. Those bonus dollars also go against or towards your trading fees. So with that being said, I am offering in the link in the description of this video, if you click that link and sign up, you will get various tiers of bonuses. $100 if you deposit at least $2,000 into your Fairdesk account, $2,000 if you deposit at least $50K, and all the way up to $35,000 in trading bonuses if you deposit $250,000 into your trading account. So check it out, fairdesk.com, link in the description below. And if you need some assistance with trading, or you want to have kind of a hands-off approach to it, Bloodalytics is definitely an option for you. I have 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month subscriptions. The 6-month and 12-month subscriptions, I do have a promo for if you deposit at least $1,000 into your Fairdesk account, I will generate a 50% off discount for you. So how do you get this? So essentially, you click the link in the description below, sign up, deposit your money, send me your UID number, and then I will send you back a 50% off promo code for the 6-month and 12-month subscriptions, either or. So check that out. Link in the description below for that as well. Follow me on Rumble. I'll drop a link to that in the chat room really quickly. And also, I'm most active on Twitter, of course, guys. So follow me on Twitter at CryptoBlood_. I don't have a link for that in the description of this video, but there is a link like at the top of my YouTube channel that takes you directly to my Twitter. Or you could just go to Twitter and put in CryptoBlood. And you'll see I have the one that has 10,000 followers. Trying to get to 11,000, guys. Help a brother out. I told you I would talk about what Ted Cruz thought about CBDCs and digital dollars, or digital currencies, I should say. He says that CBDCs are designed to destroy all the value of Bitcoin. Maybe that's the intent, but that surely won't be what happens, right? It's only going to do the opposite if you really think about it. Okay. Once people begin to see the negative, of course, there are pros and cons to everything in life. And there are some pros to having CBDCs for the end user, for the citizen. There are some pros, but the cons, I think, outweigh the pros. But you won't be able to see that differentiation until people begin to use it, until it's too late, until it's a fabric in your life, in your everyday life. You will not be able to see it until then, until using it for a little while, 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe even longer. They're not going to come out with all the draconian laws right away. They won't do that. It will take some time. But by the time people do finally realize, because you got to, guys, remember, most people are sheeple. They're not thinking like us. I am somewhat preaching to the choir right now. That's why I'm trying to get more views and more eyeballs from people who are in the crypto space, which is a perfect segue into I am bringing back the My 2 Cents episodes. All right. That series is coming back. I used to do it back in 17, 18-ish. I would talk about topics that were not crypto related. So I'm bringing that back. My 2 cents will be non-crypto related topics. So to hopefully bring more non-crypto people into the channel so that we can hook them with that type of content and then subsequently trickle in the crypto side of things, the My 2 Satoshis. So yeah, guys, I agree that that's probably what their ultimate goal is, to bring in CBDs to destroy all the value of Bitcoin, but it will end up doing the total opposite. So there's no worry there. You should not worry about the value of Bitcoin and cryptos going down because of CBDCs. It's going to do the total opposite. That's the crazy thing. They can't stop it, guys. You can't unthink something that you thought or saw, right? And so that's what we have on our hands here. Ted Cruz is also, if you guys don't know, he is a believer in crypto and does own crypto, does own Bitcoin and other crypto assets. So it's interesting to see here him say this, but somewhat true. Let's take a look at this one. I stumbled across this Hong Kong Monetary Authority website, and it's something interesting that they're doing here. Very interesting. Now, Hong Kong is under the purview of China now. If I'm not mistaken, they took it back earlier than they were supposed to. But they're still doing their thing in regards to being friendly to digital currencies. They call them virtual assets, VAs. So what they're doing, what is this whole press release, if you want to call it, on their website? What is it talking about? Well, essentially, this is very, very cool. Basically, what's going on here is that they are reminding banks that there is no legal or regulatory requirement prohibiting banks in Hong Kong from providing banking services to virtual assets related entities. So they have also reminded banks to adhere to a risk-based approach when conducting customer due diligence and avoid unnecessary processes and refrain from adopting a one-size-fits-all approach to reject account opening applications, which is essentially what the SEC is trying to do. They're throwing everybody into one box. And it is not right. It is not fair. It is not fair. So in implementing effective AML measures, banks should also treat customers fairly and enhance access to basic banking services by businesses through transparent, reasonable, and efficient procedures. So what they're doing here, guys, is, again, just to reiterate, which is great, they're saying, hey, we have no laws to say you can't allow virtual asset companies, basically in the realm of cryptocurrencies. We have no law that prohibits you from allowing that. So go ahead and allow it, but just follow the same steps you would with a non-crypto related entity. The government set out clearly in its policy statement last October that the object of promoting the sustainable and reasonable development of the VA sector in Hong Kong. So they want to promote this. This is something they're trying to do. And this is something that clearly the SEC and other agencies within the United States are trying to do the opposite of. Very, very interesting. I just thought I would bring this to your attention to see what other countries are doing and how they're really approaching this differently. Some of them are. And it's funny because it's coming from Eastern civilizations. Like, it's not coming from the West. So it's just crazy. The narrative that we have in our mind, land of the free, the West is this and that. Looks like it's not the case. Looks like it's not the case. Stay around to the end because I will be doing an Ask CB segment in today's video. So see if your question is being answered. So how you can participate is hashtagging under any comment, under any video, hashtag Ask CB, as you guys can see there. And that will be added into the queue. And if it's a good question, I will answer it at the end of the video. It could be anything. It could be crypto related. It could be non-crypto related. I will answer it for sure. So word of the day, Julio, is vicissitudes. How you like that one? That's a good one, ain't it? I know many of you probably heard this word. You ever heard it used like this? The vicissitudes of life. You know, that means basically like surviving life's ups and downs, but with an emphasis on the downs part of it, like surviving the down part of life that we all go through. So all of you here today have survived the vicissitudes of life so far. You haven't checked out. That's a good thing. Round of applause, everyone. The word vicissitudes essentially just means changing of circumstances, guys, or fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. I would say that regulators are the vicissitudes of crypto in the last 10 years that I've been in it. That's the change that I don't like. And it's crazy because so many people over, I would say starting in 2017, really started to want regulation and clarity. And they thought regulation meant legitimacy. And I knew it wouldn't. I knew it wouldn't, guys. I knew it would not. I think the markets are looking at a First Republic receivership as a sign that the Fed will stop raising interest rates. And I'm not with it. I am not sold on the Fed not continuing their quarter basis point hike, or maybe they think one more hike, the markets one more hike, and then a pause or a reversal. I just don't see it yet. I want to go on to the next one. And these are really essentially the 5 or 6 reasons why I think the SEC is in turmoil. It's based on their actions, not anything they say. It's just their actions. They're like, it's almost like a person who's drowning, right? You try to save a person that's drowning. That's the worst thing to do in many cases, because they're just grabbing for anything. They're just like, right? And they'll take you under. It's kind of what the SEC is doing. They're drowning. Here's one reason. Circle CEO blames U.S. crypto crackdown for declining USDC market cap. Basically, more so the SEC. And I'll explain why that is the case, because there's a certain political group that is trying to get the SEC away from stable coins, because they're not securities at all. But they're just trying to clump and lump everything up into one type of asset. That's what the SEC is doing. All right. The market cap of the USDC, a stablecoin issued by Circle, has reduced nearly by half over the past 6 months following the regulatory crackdown and the banking crisis. So Jeremy Allier, who's the CEO of Circle, made mentions that he feels like the U.S. crackdown is definitely hurting business. And of course, the banking crisis, but primarily the rules that they're trying to enforce on this industry. Huge amount of concern globally about the U.S. banking system, he says. Regulatory environment in the U.S. is shaky and not advantageous to the crypto market for sure. He said it's a critical moment here in the United States. And as I like to say, it's really a moment for Congress to step up. Again, this is coming from Allier, but I didn't even know this was part of this article, but he's showing how Hong Kong is ahead of the curve. And we just literally talked about Hong Kong and them being very friendly and telling their banking institutions over there to, hey, allow the crypto companies to come in, open bank accounts. Just treat them with the same level of scrutiny that you would a non-crypto company. So this is number one. Like, you're starting to see CEOs within the crypto space, which you would think he pretty much aligns with the powers that be. Sergey, that's BlackRock, that's Goldman and Sachs. He's in that camp. And yet the SEC is even attacking them because they have no real direction. They're confused themselves. Not only confusing other people in other companies, but confused themselves. Binance, you can pretty much, they didn't say why, but you can pretty much blame the end to Binance.us buying or acquiring Voyager. You can blame that deal ending sourly because of the SEC as well. Now, they didn't explicitly say it in their 4 paragraphs they sent to Voyager, but it says here on Bloomberg, Binance.us terminated an agreement to purchase a bankrupt crypto broker, Voyager Digital Holdings, less than a week after federal regulators dropped their efforts to halt the deal in court. So there was a lot of back and forth, and I reported on this. There was a lot of back and forth with allowing Voyager to move forward. Then they paused it. Then another regulatory agency came in and paused it, and then they let that go. So you had like 3 or 4 different regulatory agencies in the United States attacking this deal. First of all, there are too many regulatory agencies in America. I believe there's like on record over 200, it may be over 400 various regulatory agencies in the United States. I mean, there are so many, but that's on record. I've had this conversation with Rice TVX, Chris Rice. I've heard there are upwards of 500 to 600 different regulatory agencies within the United States. Too many hands in the cookie jar. And it's interesting because if you think about it, I'm not saying that Trump, was going to be able to permanently change things, but one of his policies, I think executive orders, was that for every regulatory guideline you added, you had to take 4 away or 3 away or 2 away or something like that, because it's getting out of control. And we're slowing ourselves down from growth, guys. This is so sad. The decision came after months of wrangling and the intervention of multiple federal and state regulators over the deal. So again, you got regulators from the federal level and you got even more at the state level. They're just all running into each other. In the statement, Binance.us said the hostile and uncertain regulatory climate. Listen to this. The hostile and uncertain regulatory climate in the United States has introduced an unpredictable operating environment impacting the entire American business community. This is crazy. And if you recall, Silvergate straight up shut down operations. Not because they were insolvent or anything like that. They just realized that, this is a losing battle. There's no way we can operate in this environment. And they returned all funds to clients. While this development is disappointing, Voyager says our Chapter 11 plan allows for direct distribution of cash and crypto to customers via the Voyager platform. Yeah, this is true. However, guess what? What you were going to get back if you had a deal with Binance, what that customer would have gotten back would have been multiples more than what they are going to get back now. So this is not a win for the customer. They're going to get pennies on the dollar now. They were probably going to get pennies on the dollar before, maybe dimes on the dollar before, but now they're going to get pennies on the dollar. Binance.us has had faced significant regulatory pushback on the deal, including objections from the Texas State Securities Board. Who the hell is that? The U.S. Securities and Exchange, U.S. Steal Every Coin Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission. FTC. I mean, you got the FTC, you got the FCC, you got the I mean, there's just too many. CFTC, SEC. Horrible. Todd says by design, absolutely by design, to a certain extent. But there is a point where even your by design has unintended consequences. There are things that are happening in America, guys, that they are not or did not intend to happen. Number 3, here's another one showing that the SEC is just completely in shambles. They're just going after any and everything with no real validity. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but the SEC is trying to charge Do Kwon for unregistered security. And this is an unregistered security. Guess what? It was over. The UST, a stable coin. Yeah, FDIC. I mean, good God. I literally might do an episode where we just go through all 200. I literally may do this. Seriously, it'll be a my 2 cents episode because, of course, all these regulatory agencies in the United States, most of them have nothing to do with crypto. But just to paint the picture and show you guys, it's out of control. It's out of control. Oh, my God. So, yes, the SEC is trying to go after Do Kwon for UST, a stable coin. They're saying was an unregistered security. So lawyers for Do Kwon, founder of the collapsed crypto issuer Terraform Labs, have requested a U.S. court to dismiss charges brought against him by the Still Every Coin Commission, partly because of the lack of jurisdiction, court filings show on Friday. Following his arrest, the SEC charged the South Korean national with securities fraud. Man, oh man. This is insane. What they're doing here, guys, at the end of the day, is going to actually hurt them. Because what happens is, it's almost like the boy that cries wolf. If you go after everything in the crypto space, then at the end of the day, you have no leverage. You have no real argument if you go after everything. So they're ruining themselves, to be honest with you. Doesn't mean they're going to go away, but it shows that they lack true leadership over at the SEC right now, with Gensler just going after any and everything. Focus on the fraud that's going on Wall Street, and all the securities over there. There's a lot of fraud still going on. Let's take a look at the next move that shows that the SEC is just out of control and in turmoil. So I actually talked about Chamath, maybe was it last week? I talked about how he thought that U.S. regulators are killing the crypto industry as well. He said crypto is dead here in America. And that is, and I explained this in that episode, I think it was on Monday, that this means a lot because this is coming from not saying that Michael Saylor doesn't have valid points and he's not someone you should potentially listen to, but he did get into crypto like 2 minutes ago. Round of applause for him. But Chamath has been around the early days. I think he got in 2000, maybe 13, 14, around when I did. He pointed the finger at Gary Gensler, the chair of the Still Every Coin Commission, saying that the United States authorities have firmly pointed their guns at crypto. They absolutely have. They absolutely have. And honestly, to be quite frank with you guys, at this point, I really do think this is Operation Choke Point 2.0. I'm just going to be honest with you. I really do. It really looks and smells like Operation Choke Point 2.0. And if you don't know what Operation Choke Point is, it essentially was a program, an initiative started under Obama. Duh. Those liberals, you got to love them. Round of applause for the liberals, the Dems. the demons. That's what I call them. Or the jackasses. I don't know. Depends on how you want to look at it. But it began in 2013, which investigated banks in the United States and the businesses they did business with, such as firearm dealers, payday lenders, and companies believed to be at high risk for fraud and money laundering. Now, that's the official definition, but really it's a little bit more cynical than that. Because what ended up happening, like when Obama was in office and started this program, this operation, it really was a tool he used, as they're doing right now, by the way. I'm only seeing this happen on the left to this extent, where they literally use the law for political gain or to put down the opposing side. To this extent, of course, I know the Republicans have probably done it in the past as well, absolutely. But to be so blatant about it, they've gone way further than what the right has. So Operation Choke Point, the Obama administration's effort to freeze politically disfavored businesses out of the financial system. So that's really what the goal was. You know, we know the right have leaned toward things and businesses and operations that may be more liberating, allow more freedom, such as guns, firearms, right? Though some may say the payday check cashing payday joints are a little much. But Choke Point consisted of bureaucrats in several independent, listen to this, they call it, several independent federal agencies. So this is the problem that I'm having with what's going on now, even in today's environment. You have a lot of quote unquote independent agencies doing things that are very partisan. Several independent agencies taking it upon themselves to shut legal businesses such as payday lenders and firearms dealers out of the banking system. Given the nature of the U.S. regulatory framework, this operation was easy to pull off. And the reason is because, think about it, if a federal agency came knocking at your door, you're a bank, and they just hit you with like some real scary words, a letter that's real scary, that you're going to just, you're like, listen, I'd rather just not take this customer, these one or two customers, I'd rather not take them, okay, and not have to go through all this back and forth with this agency. That's money. That's cutting into my bottom line. I'll just not accept them. Officials at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, we just mentioned them, FDIC, for instance, simply had to inform the banks that they were overseeing that the government considers certain types of their customers to be high risk. Now, it didn't say, and is not telling them to boot them out, but just the mere fact of sending a letter saying, we think a few of your customers are high risk. What are you going to do about it? The mere implication of a threat was enough in many instances to pressure banks into closing accounts, because no U.S. bank wants anything to do with any extra audits and investigations from their regulator, much less additional operating restrictions or civil and criminal charges. So this is what they did with Operation Choke Point. They would just kind of nudge you, and in most cases, it just wasn't worth the fight for a few small customers. And they're doing it again, guys. So this is what's going on again, guys. Operation Choke Point 2.0 is in effect. It's in full effect, in my opinion. It is in full effect. The fourth thing that I want to talk to you guys about, as far as evidence that the SEC is in turmoil, is that now they're starting to get suits put on them. The tables are being reversed. It's getting so chaotic and so out of control that you had literally companies like Coinbase putting in a narrow action. They filed a narrow action in federal court to compel the SEC to respond yes or no, simply yes or no, to their July 2022 petition, asking the SEC to use its formal rulemaking process to provide guidance for the crypto industry. So the Administrative Procedure Act, or APA, requires the SEC to respond to Coinbase's rulemaking petition within a quote unquote reasonable time. So if the SEC says no to our or their rulemaking petition, which it has the right to do, then Coinbase would be allowed to challenge that decision in court and explain in that formal setting why rulemaking is required. So it's just getting out of control. The SEC is going after any and everyone. All right. And again, these types of actions, I compare it to a person drowning. They're swinging and grabbing at any and everything because they're a dying agency. And it's only the shape of things to come. I think a lot of agencies are dying. But will our politicians have the political willpower to eliminate some of them? We saw what the right, there were some Republicans looking to abolish the IRS. We know it won't get any traction. They're just appealing to their base, to their constituents. That's all they're doing. They know it won't get anywhere. Even that is just showmanship. But will our politicians have the political willpower to eliminate agencies? Again, Trump had in his, he wrote a EO, an executive order. I think it happened actually very soon after he got in office. He said, for every regulatory thing you want to add to the books, you got to take away two. You got to take away two. Todd said Coinbase should just tighten their shit up, lower them fees, and dip to a friendlier spot. So here's the thing, though, Todd. This is what you have to understand. The fees are so high because they are heavily regulated. This is the thing. It's a lose-lose. They're not just having these high-ass fees just for shits and giggles. It's because they're trying to be above board and follow every red line, which costs. And ultimately, they have to pass that on to the end user. That's what happens every time in every industry. So again, I'm not trying to be some preacher for Trump here, but I'm just saying this is why the business environment really flourished under that very short time with Trump. There was a number of reasons, but one is he made it very advantageous for businesses to operate in the United States. For every regulation the left wanted to put out there, you had to take away two. So, hey, it is what it is. The last one is a move by the Republicans to literally take the power away from the SEC and Gary Gensler regarding stablecoins. Again, the very thing that they are suing or trying to sue Do Kwon from Terra Luna over. So it looks like the new payment stablecoin legislation would hand authority from the SEC to federal and state bank and credit union regulators, which I think personally, if you had to pick a regulator, a group, it definitely should be them. It should not be the SEC. They deal with securities. What don't they understand? What don't you understand, Gary Gensler? The SEC's assertion over stablecoins may also be at odds with fellow Biden administration officials. I doubt it. But again, one more sign that Gary Gensler is drowning, and he's just looking for anything to grab onto. Seriously. I'm going to leave you with this one. Satan and Bitcoin. Well, it's really not Satan. It's the Church of Satan. I thought this was hilarious. Founder of NH Reform Satanic Church sentenced in virtual currency case. Yes, indeed. This he, she, it, they, them, this thing. I don't know what he goes. He goes by her, DeMezzo, 36-year-old Antichrist, and founder of Reformed Satanic Church in New Hampshire, was sentenced Tuesday to 18 months in prison for operating a money transmitting business without a license. This is how they get you guys. This is how they get you. Be very careful. Be very careful. Okay, this is how they're going to get you. I don't care what race, color, creed, she, hit, whatever. They're going to get you with that money transmitter license or doing business without one. This is how they've gotten a few other people. And just last year, they're doing big time. This person is only doing 18 months and has to pay back a few dollars in restitution. But it says here, D'Amizo and her attorney were pushing for a 1-year home confinement sentence, arguing the only wrongdoing was not having a license, which is why she pleaded guilty only that charge. But federal prosecutors argue that D'Amizo should receive 30 to 37 months in prison, citing the sentencing guidelines for the nature of the crime. Prosecutors also showed a video clip of D'Amizo giving a presentation about how to sell Bitcoin and instructing viewers not to ask about why someone might want to buy it. They argued this video proved her actions were, quote unquote, more aggravated than simply not getting a license. So this is why there are many things that I will not say on camera. You have to see me in person. And if I don't know you, I'm still not going to say anything. In addition to the 18-month sentence, D'Amizo forfeited $14,000, I should say, and almost 2 Bitcoin worth about $55,000. She was also ordered to pay $5,000 fine and will have a 1-year supervised release after serving her sentence. I brought this up because you're going to see more and more of these type of situations, guys. Okay, it's almost at the point. Be honest with you, I would say it is. We're there. Most people don't see it yet. They don't feel it yet in the zeitgeist that it will not be cool to own Bitcoin at some point in the future. Like in 2017, 18, you can get a girl off that. If you didn't have any game, all you had to say was I was in Bitcoin. That's all you had to say. You would get some, you get some tickle bitties in your face. But in the very near future, that will not be the case. It will be shunned. You'll have to keep it a secret that you own Bitcoin, especially when the CBDCs get to rolling out. It will not be cool to own Bitcoin. So I have to ask you once again, will you break the law to use cryptocurrencies? Are you truly about it? Are you about it? In the words of No Limit, Master P, Percy Miller. Are you about it? I don't know. I think most aren't. And that's cool. That's cool. But it was meant for the ones that are. And thank God they can't take that away if you so choose to do so. Let's go ahead and get to the last segment in today's episode, which is Ask CB. Yes, hashtag Ask CB. Let's see who we got today. Today's question comes from Dahi Freelance. Or Dahi Freelance. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but here you go. So you ask here, are the 98 million Very tokens stolen by the Steal Every Coin Commission going to be locked up and banished forever? Or will they resurface to be used by government to shape future economies? Now, come on, man. What kind of question is that? Do you really think they're going to use Very tokens? For what reason? There's absolutely no reason for them to use Very tokens. Sorry, guys. And CB keeps it real. CB keeps it real. Just to keep it 100 with you guys, as you know, I do. They for damn sure ain't gonna use a black man's cryptocurrency. Ladies, a round of applause for that. We know that. So no, there is literally not a chance in hell that the government is going to use Very tokens for anything in the future. They're going to create their own. Because with creating their own, they get to control every aspect of it. So that is my answer to your question, Dahi Freelance. Thank you for your question. And thank you guys for tuning in. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here. Holla.
Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah, this my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Tune in and get the latest and greatest from stacking Toshis. This my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah, this my 2 Satoshis. This my 2 Satoshis. Tune in and get the latest and greatest from stacking Toshis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you need to get the real news at. Stop messing with them lames out there. CBTV. Let me out of here. Pop.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.